I'm Tracy from Rich Mix, and along with my friend Claire from Art Hoppers, we want to make a big, green, environmentally friendly welcome to you all for this Big Draw 2021 Take Measure of the Earth workshop on Zoom, Sunday the 7th of March. Now, this year is a very special year for Big Draw. It's the 20th anniversary, and they have the theme Climate for Change. Now, we were very, very proud and excited last year, along with Art Hoppers, to win the People's Choice Award 2019. And that means we can bring this to you for free with the support of National Lottery as well. And we've been able to post you out a fantastic play pack full of sort of recycled eco products we hope you can use during the workshop. We're really looking forward to it. I'm going to show you some of those things that you will have received in the pack now. Also, you would have received your pack through the post. You will have had some things from the Big Draw, which we're really excited to have. A certificate, which you can fill out yourself, which I think is going to be really fun to stick on your wall. You should be really proud about that. Some stickers. We all love stickers. You'll get some of these Big Draw stickers, plus you'll get some Rich Mix ones. You'll have some of these fantastic graph papers, different types of grid papers, a sort of grid, a graph one, an isometric one, and they're all recycled paper. That's so cool. You're going to have some split pins. We all love split pins. We've got lots of things we can do with split things, pins, craft things. We've got to be really safe with those as well, because they're rather small, but you'll be supervised by your parents. That's absolutely fine. One of the things I'm very excited about putting in the pack was these children's safety compasses. Everybody will get a compass, and they are fantastic for all sorts of maths and science and drawing things. You're going to get some Tree Saver coloured pencils, which are made from recycled products, different coloured pencils in your pack, which I think are going to be fantastic. And also some graphite or lead pencils that are Tree Saver as well. A couple of those in your packs. This is going to be really, really good fun. You'll have in your pack as well an insert telling you the other sorts of things you'll need for the day, most of which you can fire in the house, I think in your recycle box, maybe a scissors and things like that, but Claire will tell you all about those. So Big Draw 2021, Take Measure of the Earth, also aligns really beautifully with our Rich Mix Goes Green campaign, where we're sort of bringing centre stage our commitment to reducing our impact on the environment. And that's by raising awareness and saving energy and reducing waste. Now, we sort of think of it like, you know, the refrain from your favourite song or one of those ads you just can't get out of your head. The reduce, reuse and recycle sort of refrain that we're hoping by the end of the workshop today, or on Sunday I should say, you and your family have really got stuck in your head, and you're able to make a sort of pledge about how you can commit to those actions as well. Reduce, reuse and recycle. Okay, so on Sunday, when you and your family are thinking of the sorts of things you can pledge on your eco pledge, maybe you can get some ideas from some of the things we're doing at Rich Mix. And we're reducing waste. We're reducing waste, something like maybe reducing your food or your drink waste. Doesn't happen much with me. I normally eat and drink everything. But if there is food and drink waste, you can maybe compost those things. We're using bio bins at Rich Mix to compost the waste from our sort of food and drink that people don't finish. We're reusing, so you could reuse things, our cups. So instead of single-use plastic cups, we're using something called polycarb cups, which you can just reuse all the time. What about recycling things? Well, recycled paper. So all of our marketing, any leaflets or pamphlets, we've reduced a lot of those, but when we do need to use print, we use recycled paper, and then the stuff that isn't given away or used, that gets recycled as well. And so really, on Sunday, when you make your eco pledge, we're hoping that you can think about the things that you can do this month and perhaps some ideas for future months. That's what we're doing at Rich Mix, and we hope that you can follow our example. So listen, we're looking forward to seeing you at Big Draw 2021, Take Measure of the Earth, this Sunday, 7th of March on Zoom. See you then. Bye. Now hand over to Claire.
Thanks, Tracy. That's great. Now let's get on to the creative part of our session today. We are going to be looking at nature for inspiration to make drawings, and we're going to learn about geometry. Geometry, if you break it down to its ancient Greek meaning, is geo, meaning earth, and metron, meaning measurement, hence the name of our event, Take Measure of the Earth. And geometry is actually maths, the study of the measurement of things, from shapes to objects in the world around us. We'll use that in our art making, and along the way we will reduce, reuse and recycle. Before we get started, let's do our material checklist. You've got your eco play packs. You also need a ruler, a pair of scissors and a rubber. Now let's see what we've thrown away. So we're going to start by diving into our recycling box, and what we want to find is card packaging, any plastic lids or pots which we can use to repurpose and make our artworks. We find circles, 3D rectangles, curves, lines, many different shapes and forms which we can use to make our art, and these are all geometric. We're going to show you how to put your own spin on the classic SPIRO-GRAPHIC toy by using your card packaging as a beautiful background for these really lovely drawings. Open and flatten your recycle card. Cut into panels guided by the folds in the packaging. Then you're going to want to find the center and mark out a grid with vertical, horizontal and diagonal lines. Use your compass to make a hole and you're ready. Take your ruler, draw lines, create angles, have a go with your compass, drawing circles, overlap the shapes. And what you want to do is take a coloured pencil and then draw out a shape that you really like from the pattern you've made. You're going to cut this out and that will be used as a template for your SPIRO-GRAPHIC drawing. What you need to do is put a hole anywhere in that little template, and then we'll push a split pin through that and attach it to our card packaging, that little panel that you cut out. Push the pin through the template into your card, open it on the back, draw an arrow on your template, point the arrow at one of the drawn lines on your card panel, draw around the template, and then you'll rotate so the arrow points at the next line marked on your panel, and draw around the shape again. Keep going until you've completed all the way around the panel. You might want to take your template out and put a new hole, and that will just offset the same pattern or the same shape if you draw around it again. So I did it a second time with a different colour and repeated the same steps. Position the arrow at your marked line, draw around the template and then rotate the template pointing the arrow at the next line, and keep going until you do the full cycle. Beautiful. So we can see the artwork nice and clean, and this makes a really delicate artwork. You can use many different template shapes, and you can get really creative with your colours too. So here I decided to use two colours on the same shape. I did a pink for that round section, and then the bottom half I made green. And it's the same thing. You just keep lining up your arrow, draw around, rotate. Line up, draw, rotate. Really easy. And I did it all the way around for the pink, and then all the way around again for the pale green. And you can keep going, adding more colours. Again, you can change the position of the hole, and that will just offset the same pattern. So here I put the hole at the other end, and then mark your arrow on the furthest point from that pin in the middle. It just makes it a little bit easier to see where your marked lines are. And here I chose to do a dark pink and a dark green. With the dark green I decided to just go 1/4 of the way around that circular section and I marked on my template where the line should stop each time. Line up, draw around, rotate. And these can make greetings cards, beautiful artworks, whatever you'd like. For our next activity, we're going to look really closely at nature and see the growth patterns in plants, flowers and vegetables. If you look really closely, you're likely to see spiral formations. There's actually a code to this pattern and it's called Fibonacci. So we're going to reuse this natural pattern. We're going to crack the Fibonacci code and learn about proportions, composition and geometry. We start with 0 and 1, and the idea is you add up these two numbers and that gives you 1. The next step is add up the last two numbers, that's 1 and 1 makes 2. And again the same pattern, add up the last two numbers, 1 and 2 makes 3, and you keep going for as long as you like, always adding up the last two numbers, 2 and 3, 5, 3 and 5, add them up, 8, last one, 8 and 5, 13. It can go on and on and on forever. So we've worked out our numbers, now let's draw out our image. Every number is one square unit, and a square unit for us on this paper is this size. So we just follow the numbers. 1 is the beginning. The next number is another 1, goes by the side. Our next number is 2, so that's 2 square units. So we do 1 square, 2 square, 1 square, 2 square. We have a square of 2 units on both sides. Next number is 3. 1, 2, 3 by 1, 2, 3. A square of 3 sides, 3 on each side. And it keeps going. So our next one is 5, a square of 5 units on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on it goes. 8 units on each side. And then this would be 13. We're going to draw out our Fibonacci spiral, and this time we're going to enlarge the proportion, so a square will be this size, 1 unit would be that size. And to start we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4 in from the bottom and 1, 2, 3 up. So that's our first square and we're going to draw it out. That's number 1 on our Fibonacci sequence. 1 unit. So this time it's bigger. And then we're going to look at our next number. That's 1. And we're going to go to the right of our first square. You can use colours to draw out your squares. Next number, 2. So this time we're going to go down across the length of those first 2 squares. I'm going to draw a square, 1, 2 unit square. Okay, and keep going. So we've done 1, we've done 1, we've done 2, 3 is our next number. So we've got 1, 2, 3, this is our next square. 5, 3 this way. 1, 2, 3. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 this way too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw it out. And then our last number that will fit on this page is number 8. So this should be 8 units long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we want 8 along this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we're going to draw our curves within the squares. So we have our compass and pencil. Make sure that the point and the pencil are joining at the bottom. And then you want to measure the point and the pencil point to be the width of each square that you're working in. In this case we have the first 2 squares which are the same size, and we want our arc to go across both. So we put the point of our compass in the middle and we draw the first arc into the second and stop. In our next square we need to adjust the compass so it's the width of a square that's 2 units. 1, 2. And this time we're going to put our point in the middle of the drawing and follow the spiral round, and we draw the next arc. Okay. Our next square, measure the size, adjust your pencil. You have the point in the middle of the image within the square, and we're going to draw that arc. Go to the next square, 5 units, measure our pencil to fit. So this time which way? Not that way, into the middle, this way, and we're going to draw out the arc. And this one is huge. Will it reach with my little compass? Oh, that is tricky. Okay, so now I want to put my point into the middle of the image within the corner of this unit and draw this arc out. I'm going to hold my point and drag it across. Oh, almost. There you go. So now we can see we've got our first spiral, which is smaller than the larger one. Same proportions actually, but this is bigger. We've scaled up the image. So our unit here is actually enlarged to this size in this drawing. You could also draw out your squares and curves separately on either your graph or your gridded paper, and then cut them out and puzzle them together like this. So you don't then need to worry so much where the squares go in the drawing. You can just position them or place them one at a time and see that spiral come together. Perfect. And once you have the individual squares, you can play around with design just by arranging them or layering them, ordering them in whatever way you like. See what patterns you can come up with. For our third activity, we're going to design our own mandala. Now, this is a beautiful drawing which starts from a central point and expands out as it goes around. and this symbolises the ongoing force of life, so it links beautifully into nature. And we're going to use the different items that we found in our recycling box to make some of the shapes within the drawing. So I've got some plastic lids, I've got different containers, all these create shapes for us to use as a template. So let's look at how we get started.
Start with a blank piece of paper or a recycled cereal box and make it square. Draw diagonal lines corner to corner and across through the centre. Then you want to make 3 circles in the centre which increase in size. You can use your objects or a compass. And then bring in your recycled shapes and use those as a template to draw around. So I've got this plastic juice top, and I'm going to keep rotating it round, following its curve to create the petals for this flower in the centre of my design. You can add a little of colour if you like. Keep using different shapes that you've recycled to help draw out patterns and shapes within your design. Turn your paper as you go round to keep it easy and comfortable for you to draw. And this is all about repetition really, and symmetry. So we want to see the balance within the design. Every section should look the same as much as possible. I'm marking out the middle of this section here as a guide for where to start my next line. That will help me. And then I take another shape. I've got this plastic lid again, and this time I'm marking on the lid where I want to start my line. So there you go, you can see it there. So that makes it clear for me to know where to position the lid and where to draw it out. And systematically, step by step, you keep repeating the same marks within the same section as you keep turning the paper. So here you see I've got petals again, and I've taken this smaller green lid to create a sun, if you like, appearing from behind my petals of my flower, and I'm doing a double border there for a bit of definition. With the hand-drawn shapes, if you draw one side of the shape first all the way around and then rotate around doing the other side of the shape, that sometimes just makes it easier. So it's a really lovely activity. You get into the flow of the drawing as you're doing it. You can use spirals, circles, dots, free-drawn lines to add details in your drawing and keep building it up as you go along. So you want to see the balance and harmony of this drawing as you fill it out. And it can get quite complicated. Before you know it, you'll have a really detailed drawing. You kind of get into it. It's a really meditative sort of activity. It's all about the method. And add colour and make the shapes pop. Look at that. Beautiful.
Fantastic! So that completes our art session today. It's been great working with you. We've had a wonderful time, and along the way we've learnt to reduce, reuse and recycle. So now all that's left to do is to focus our attention on what we can achieve for the good of nature in our daily lives. What will you pledge to do?
This video is a supporting resource for the live sessions hosted by Rich Mix and Art Hoppers.